There we go. Okay, so we should be able to plug this in and get it going. Okay, so let me see if I can shrink myself down. There we go. Good old Atari logo. Look at that. So this is the 7800 Plus powering up. You get the Atari splash screen. Hey, Braylon. Um, and we're going to use, again, I recommend the OG Hugo, the retro Game Boys style controller, but get the OG Hugo one because with this one, again, you get it on OG Hugo's eBay store. Um, he has it super cheap right now. Like, it's ridiculous. Because, again, for this controller, if you're going to play Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest, you're going to hold, this button to run, and you can't roll your thumb to jump the way you would expect. So, that's my only recommendation right now, but let's get this synced up. So we're going to play it as if you just got it Christmas morning, and we're going to play Robert DeCrescenzo's newest game, his Bounty Bob Strikes Back. And to me, this is a very exciting release. Let me get things situated. I wonder if that first part didn't record at all. I don't know. Um, I might have been talking and talking and going on, and it might have not have been going. Let me see. Okay, we'll go over here. All right, so this is Bounty Bob Strikes Back. Let me get it on my television because there's going to be input delay here too. But what I want to do is try. We're going to try this game because it's one of the games that comes with it. We're obviously going to try the pack-in. Doesn't come with it, but it was released alongside of it. We'll try the pack-in game, and then I want to try some Homebrew. Yeah, see, Bunny. So this is kind of give you a preview of what you might experience on Christmas morning. We're also going to take. It does not support the game drive. Who asked that? Retroloft. No, it does not support the game drive because of the way that game drives and those other things work. The only flash cart that will work on it is something called a Dragonfly, which you cannot get very easily right now. So, what did I do? Okay. Um, yeah, the Dragonfly is not something that is widely available at the moment. So, I hate the fall damage in these games. So that's your only option if your main concern is like getting flash carts to work. We'll pop in a game drive just to double check, but the game drive did not work with the 2600 plus, and it's my understanding that 7800 plus is no different than a 2600 plus. So I wouldn't expect it to work. So basically, your objective here, we killed all the enemies, but we want to turn all the platforms solid. And the jumping is a little lofty, I would say. And if you miss a jump and you fall outside of something other than that portal, then it's pretty much game over, or not game over, but you lose a life. So you gotta be careful with falling and jumping, and it's a difficult game. And if you've been playing a lot of modern games, it's real hard to get used to the way this one controls. So there, we beat the first level. I desperately need a way to not have to use RF on my 7800. If you have original 7800, get the game drive still, because then you can use that shoot. Um, then you can use that game drive out with I believe it's what, a Genesis um, cord, HDMI cord, or what have you, and you can get HD on it. Yeah, basically, so from what I can tell of this version, is it's almost an exact 1-to-1 port of the 5200 version. We could load up the 5200 and compare it, but it does not look like a whole lot improved. There is a nice menu here, and I do like how you can, alter the lives if you want to try to do a no continue, one life run, players, joysticks, and then you have steerable, I believe, for the jumps. You can enable, disable, set, when you get your bonuses at. Let me see here. Difficulty level, music. Is there? I don't hear any audio coming out, actually. Let me fix this. Let's get this audio going. Come on. Come on. There. Let me know if you guys can hear that. Yeah, the jumps are crazy on this game. Hey, Crypto. Oh, yeah, just to let everybody know, the high score challenge did come to an end yesterday, I believe. And the winners were Crypto Coffee, Huge Ass 79, and there was another person. Oh, they weren't flashing anymore. So we do have the winners for the high score challenge. I'll pull up Discord and make sure everybody... Ugh. Wow. And I'll make sure everybody knows who the winners are. But thank you, everybody, for participating. It's a lot of fun. Let me take this joystick off, because I feel like it's messing with my ability to play. I might have to switch the OG Hugo controller. This controller is not bad by any means. There's the crazy jumps that C-Money was talking about. Getting used to the jumps in this game is pivotal, because you can only jump from certain places, and if you don't, you're going to have a bad time. I'd go through, because the items are kind of lined up, and you need to get an item to kill the enemies. So usually what I do in the first level is kill all the enemies, and then I come back to fill out the platforms, because otherwise you're going to spend too much time trying to get the jumps down. And the jumps are a pain. Like, jumping in this game is your biggest enemy. Controlling it is your biggest enemy, and for some people, I think that's going to make this game a big turnoff. Like, if you pick this game up without knowing anything about Miner 2049er or Bounty Bob or anything, you've never played these games, I think you're going to have a rough time with it. I think we should have another high score challenge after we all get the 7800 plus. Absolutely, I agree, C-Money, and there are more coming down the pipeline, especially as our good friend Crawl is making some fantastic stuff. Not even Atari Network related, but he's the guy that made the demo for the channel, and that is the ROM that is on the cartridge. He's also like working on at least a tech demo of a fighting game featuring me and Vinny. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, the falls are pretty bad too. It's a tough game, but Crawl is doing a lot of cool stuff, and I'd love to give away more exclusive cartridges. One-of-a-kind cartridges, because that's, I think, a big thing, at least for the community before the 7800 plus, is we just love new stuff on the 7800, and I don't think it's going to be any different now that the 7800 plus is out. But we go crazy over every little new thing that comes out. Always appreciate the hard work that people put into supporting the 7800, and a lot of it comes from the fact that the 7800 wasn't supported real well during its life, so we're so appreciative to get stuff after the fact. Always have been, and we're gonna play some of that stuff that was just released from some truly independent sources, not just Atari Age, but Video 61 put out some stuff. Gambler, who has been a huge supporter of the 7800, he's always put out some crazy fun stuff for it. Very cool stuff. But this is right off the 7800 plus, and it's it's a lot of fun to play with. It controls well. Like I said, my big thing with the controller is how far apart the buttons are, and I wish they would have designed or redesigned this controller and did a little bit of work on it. Because let's switch over to Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest, because I want to get this point across for people. If you bought this unit, and you're gonna give it to yourself for Christmas, and you plan on giving yourself this unit for Christmas, I would go on eBay right now and order this OG Hugo controller. Let me see if I can pull it up and show it to you guys, because he's got it priced so good right now. It's such a fair price, and it works so good. 7800. Let's just type in controller. I don't think I have the cartridge slot. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, $40 for the Retro Game Boys one. Retro Game Boys is fine. I know a lot of people love them. I've had every controller I bought of Retro Game Boys has had an issue one way or another. You can get the original Euro pad, but right here, 2-button controller. Let me see if I can share my screen. That's the chat. That's not the window I want. Good, I can get the chat on here. That's the chat. I don't want the chat. That's the file explorer. I don't want that. Why won't it let me? Well, it's you'll take my word for it. I'll do an edited video and I'll show it, but it's $19.99 on eBay. You can't beat it, and you're gonna want that controller with this console, because when you're playing it with this wireless one, which again is fine for most games, you're gonna want to run, put your thumb on there, run with it, and then roll it to kind of jump, and you can't do it with the way these buttons are. So you hit the button to run, and it's just not conducive to playing very well, unfortunately. So you end up either having to really stretch your thumb out, or doing this 2-finger thing that I think we've all seen somebody play with 2 fingers before, and it looks kind of weird instead of using the thumb. But that's how this controller is kind of set up. So, it's kind of harping on it a little bit. But I feel like if you've gone to all this trouble to put out the 7800 Plus and have this awesome wireless Euro pad, I don't think anybody would have complained if you would have just put the buttons a little closer together. Like, yeah, it's not exactly like the original, but it would go so much further and making it easier to use and play and stuff. So, but this is the pack-in game. So we're gonna do the 2-button, and again, you kind of do this 2-button thing here, because what you want to do is roll your thumb, and it's such a long distance that jumping like that is just, ooh. It's hard. You gotta have, unless you have like a giant hand, it might be better. So I recommend OG Hugo's stuff. Not only is he a supporter of the channel and provided lots of cool stuff for us to cover, but it's the best controller I've used quality-wise. We got Jerome in here, Retro Loft, old school style, absolutely. I had to get a replacement controller, and it still misses inputs, yeah. So let's see here. And make sure too, because there is a 1-button mode for this game. Yeah, that's too far. Yeah, so let me switch out the controller here. because I think a lot of people are going to get that controller Christmas morning. And it's going to make what otherwise would be a great experience to be maybe a little bit of a lesser one. So let's try this OG Hugo controller now, where it's exactly like the NES controller. It's what you would expect. Oh wait, this is my backup one. So you can use just your thumb instead of 2 fingers, and it plays so much better. Able to respond a lot easier. Oh, forgot about the jump guy. And this is such a fun game too. You're gonna want to be able to experience this game and enjoy it. It is a game that we were dying for on the 7800 back in the 80s and the very late 90s. I don't know how many times we talked about, we wanted our own Mario Brothers and whatnot. And then we finally get it thanks to Robert DeCrescenzo and his hard work. And the guy is just, that's why he's the GOAT when it comes to the 7800, because he gave us so many great games, all the Pac-Man games. Of course, his username on the forums is Pac-Man Plus, which the plus is even more relevant now. But that's the Pac-In game. The music's really good. Let's try some other stuff, though. So let's say we know the stuff from Atari is going to work. You're going to get your Pac-In, it's going to work. You're going to get Bounty Bob, it's going to work. Everything from Atari is going to work, even the stuff for the 2600 Plus and prior. Let's try some other things, shall we? So somebody brought up the game drive. Let's see if the game drive works at all. Okay, so we got a game drive unit here, from Retro HQ. So let's see what happens when you put it in the console and power it on. No game detected. So it's to my understanding, again, I'm not a tech guy, the way it looks for the ROMs is there's no ROM technically loaded yet, and I guess because of that, the way that the game drive works just doesn't work on Plus consoles. And it's the same thing for the Concerto. The only flash cart that works is the Dragonfly, which is impossible to find. They haven't been made for a long time. If they do pop up on eBay, they'll probably go for a lot more than what you're hoping to pay. So unfortunately, you can't just get a game drive and have every game, which is a pain in the butt. Is there a way to get Stargate to work with the 2-button controller that comes with the 7800 Plus? The Stargate needs 2 buttons. I wasn't able to utilize that. Stargate is a 2600 game, so I don't believe there is a way to make it work with the 2-button mode, Jerome. The only game that doesn't work for me is Crossbow for the 7800. I've heard certain carts work and some don't. It depends on something. Really? So we can try Crossbow. Do you have any PAL carts that you can test? I do not believe I have any PAL carts. Let me find Crossbow here. I might have Crossbow packed up somewhere else. I don't know. Let me see. Everything is such a mess right now because I've had to pack and unpack a few times. What is that? It's cracked. Choplifter. Ugh, it might not be handy. It might not be handy, fellers. Oh, here it is. Okay, I found Crossbow. Let's see if Crossbow works. So we have the original home release 7800 version of Crossbow. Again, it was mentioned that this may or may not work. So let's see what happens. And this is on stock firmware. So again, it could be your experience depending on what carts you have come Christmas morning. If you're holding off till Christmas to play your 7800 plus, or if you're getting it for Christmas, or if you're hopeful that Santa Claus is bringing it for you. Let's see what your experience could entail. And so it does seem to work. But again, it might be different copies working differently. And the light gun still won't work, the more you know, of hooking up a 7800 plus to a CRT. So it probably has something to do with the signal, because he probably had to have taken HDMI whatever, reverter down to the RCA or whatever. So let's see. So we're gonna play with joystick, but I wanted to play with the wireless one for the most part. So let me plug that back in. Okay. So let's see. Should find the video. It's pretty good. I'll have to check it out. So with the controller, it seems to work pretty good. For those of you that don't know, you want to protect your guys in Crossbow as attempt to make it through this perilous straight line that they're walking. They have several threats that pop out all sides of the screen. Scorpions. I don't think you gotta worry about the bunnies, but the ants and stuff. You don't want to shoot your own guys. I believe you can kill your own guys, if I remember right. And if you successfully, even if you don't successfully, I mean, as long as you have one person alive, you get more people, so you complete the level, and you get a new friend. So we got a guy in underwear, and you can pick a new path. So it's a very fun game. This was one of my favorites for a long time on the 7800. Here, like, you gotta shoot the icicles so that... Oh, don't shoot your friends. I just killed my friend. You gotta shoot the icicles so they can make it by. Sometimes you gotta shoot a drawbridge for them. So, a lot of fun if you can plug in the light gun, as alluded to. Light gun might not work, but... And there you go. So, you may or may not have this game work for you. We were able to get it to work somewhat here. And it worked. I just wasn't able to play it very well. But you can go backwards sometimes, and new levels get you new characters. So, just like real life, the bunnies will chew off your ankles. Nice. So let's see what else we have. Jerome says, my Time Pilot, Robot Tank, and Zaxxon all work. They didn't work on the 2600 plus. Oh, nice. Some PAL games might have an issue. Interesting. I'll have to look into that more. I also wanted to look at some more obscure games. So let's say you plan on... Opcode has re-released a few games. Let's say you plan on getting Popeye. Let me see here. We can try Ricky and Vicky if you have that. That's kind of a holy grail. Okay. So we got, the original release of Popeye, but from what I was told from Opcode, is that it should work. He was told that they should work. So Popeye should work 100%, but let's make sure. Let's not assume anything. Let's see if it works. Yeah, C-Money says Popeye 100%. Also seems the flaws in many games have been ironed out with 7800 plus firmware. Yep, absolutely. And that's the thing with firmware updates. Atari needs to get firmware updates on their website. They need to make them accessible because not everybody wants to go to Atari Age forums. It's just as you get more and more casual people, you need to make it easy for them to be able to do this stuff so that they buy future products knowing that they're going to be well supported and easy to update and stuff. That's just my 2 cents on where they dropped the ball with the 2600 plus so far. So it looks like Popeye works just fine as expected. So you can order your copies from Opcode and you shouldn't have an issue. I would assume the same for Mooncresta and what else did they announce now? Keystone Coppers and all that should work just fine. I also know with these being Atari Age releases, Atari back when the 2600 was coming out, they were working tirelessly to make sure that all this stuff worked with the 2600 plus, and it should still be the case with the 7800. So Popeye, always a fun time, always a great game. Spinach works, everything seems to work. Nope, didn't get to old Bluto in time. Wanted to send him flying. So, let's look at some more obscure stuff. Let's say you've been collecting for a long time. You're somebody with a massive homebrew collection, and you got some weird homebrew. Let's see if we can get this last part. Nope. Let's see if anything else worked. Let's say that you were on Facebook, and you've seen the ad for Muskie Attack, and you want to know, will Muskie Attack work on the console? So we have this. You saw this on Video 61 on a Facebook thread, and you want to order it, but all you have is a 7800 plus. Let's see if this will work. And Vinny just reviewed this on his channel over at Big and Funky Productions on YouTube. So, let's see. Yeah, Jerome, that's what I believe too, is they need to make it easier. Retro Loft, your 7800 collection equals swag. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. But let's see if Muskie Attack works here. So Muskie Attack does work. Very interesting. So this is Video 61 stuff, and again, Video 61 is about as far away from Atari as you can get. It's all very independent homebrew stuff from Lance and his good friends Peter, and I believe there's somebody else over there now. But it seems to work good. On the stream it looks good. There's a little bit of like flashing on my TV here, but it doesn't seem to be coming across on the screen. So there, the one fish is kind of flickering. But it does work. So this is basically Fishing Derby for the 7800. It's kind of cool to play. It's very, very much a two-player game. As you can see on the other side, on the other dock, there's another fishing pole. So ideally you would compete with a friend, wait for your friend to try to hook a fish so that the muskie goes for their fish, and then you try to take theirs. So I hope Opco does Beef Drop. That would be great. I don't know who has the rights to Beef Drop. That's one I'm not sure if they'll be able to get the thing for, but I do have Beef Drop. So let's take Beef Drop here, and let's see if this one will work. People are asking for Beef Drop. And when people ask, we deliver. So, looks like it's loading. And I'm not seeing anything. Uh-oh. Let's try it again. Beef Drop did not load the first time, but maybe I didn't have the cart seated. What about Real Sports Baseball? Does that work? I don't know why you would want it to. Real Sports Baseball, we could try that. That's not my favorite baseball game on the 7800. There we go. Okay, I must not have had it seated all the way in. Sabretooth Retro has a video of Beef Drop working on the 2600 plus. Yeah. So this is a Ken Siders game, and this is why I don't know if it will come out with opcode or not, because Ken Siders unfortunately passed away. So I'm not sure how you would go about getting the rights to it, because with Ken Siders no longer being with us, you know, I don't know how you would go about that. But it does seem to work. Works pretty well. Get the pepper going. Got one burger. Get some more pepper going. There we go. Made some burgers. So yeah, it does seem to, joking, please don't. Oh, Real Sports Baseball, yeah. So Beef Drop does seem to work. Again, let's take a look at some, oh shoot, I don't have them. Dang. Okay, I don't have some of the real rare, official releases with me. Not good. I've packed and unpacked some stuff quite a few times, and they must be in a box somewhere. Okay, so let's say you have you've watched some of my videos, you've heard of, yeah, Beef Drop is greater than Burger Time. I love Beef Drop. Let's look at some Activision stuff. So let's see, you know, a lot of people might have Pitfall laying around. Again, Activision stuff might work a little differently. I gotta try to remember what box my Rampage is in. Gorf on the 2600 works. Okay, so again, I'm just thinking of stuff people might want to try, especially on Christmas morning. Again, anything Atari from that you got from Atari.com will work. Do you think you'll play the 7800 plus more than your original hardware now, or you'll stick with the original hardware? I don't know. So to catch video, I usually use the 2600 plus, but I still prefer to try the original 7800 as much as possible, especially with the game drive. Actually, I started using the game drive more because is there no sound? I just realized that I'm not hearing any audio, and I'm not showing any audio. That's weird. Let's try to reload this. I'll probably still use my original 7800. And that's kind of... Hey, Dylan, sorry. Dylan. I think the 7800 Plus is fine. I'll still use my original 7800, especially with the game drive. That's how I recommend most people go. Is you get a 7800 a 7800 original good condition one and a game drive, and I think you'll be pretty happy with the result because you can get the audio and stuff, or not the audio, but the cleaner visuals from the cartridge itself. So that and you don't have to buy these expensive carts. The other complaint I have moving forward is a lot of the fun, the games that people are going to want to try and probably are the most curious about costs an arm and a leg. And I'm talking like Midnight Mutants, again, Rampage, Double Dragon, what else is there? Planet Smashers, Alien Brigade, Ninja Golf. I mean, they're all, every one of those games is now $100+. Of course, you can get Ninja Golf from the Atari re-release, which is the way I recommend to go. But the stuff you're going to want to try is just completely priced to oblivion. And what Atari needs to do, in my opinion, to support the 7800 Plus is release those desirable games. Now, we know they can't do Double Dragon. We know they can't do Rampage. I don't know who has the rights to the Froggo stuff, but I can't imagine, it'd be difficult to re-release Water Ski and stuff. Do you clean your carts? Yeah, I try to. Yeah, there's no audio. I don't know what's going on there. But they need to release Planet Smashers, Alien Brigade, Midnight Mutants, cut out the L. Lewis likeness, alter the sprite a little bit and re-release it, and then collectors have another game to add to their shelf that's slightly different. Basket Brawl. These games need re-releases, and people will buy them. Yeah, they own the stuff they put on the BCS, like Motorcycle, all that stuff needs to be re-released, I think. And I think people will want to buy those and try them. So if you've released the 7800 Plus, you've put this emphasis on this console, and you got people now putting this under their tree. For next Christmas, you're going to want to give them more cartridges. And I think the way they're doing it is fine. If you want to release 3 every quarter, that's fine. Just make sure they ship. I paid more than I wanted to for Rampage 7800 and felt really foolish when it didn't work on the 2600 Plus. Yeah. And I did, eventually with the firmware, it did work, Jerome. I swear I got it working on there because I have footage of it from there, but the title screen never popped up. I think you had to hit a button and it would come out. So again, let's get goofy here. Let's say you went to you've been watching my videos. You might have heard me say Good Deal Games a few times. You went to Good Deal Games and you bought Alpha Race for a premium. So let's see if Alpha Race works. However, a year later in 7800 Plus, it works, and I know that there's no way I'd be able to get one unless I paid the price. Right, yeah, that's one of those games, Jerome is absolutely right. If you want Rampage, you're going to have to pay the high price. That's one that there's no get around. But for some of these other stuff, so Alpha Race does look like it works. This is a Breck Brixis game, SIO2. He does some good stuff, and I think his port of Alpha Race here, pretty good. Pretty good. The movement is a little challenging to get used to. I never cared for the movement of this game. Game over. But it does work, so if you pick that one up from Good Deal Games, you are in the clear. So let's say you got even crazier then, and you've seen some of my videos, and you went onto the Atari Age forums and you messaged our good friend Franco Dragon. Let's see if one of his games will work. Let's say I want to find a real silly one. I mean, they're all silly. So you messaged him on the forums. He said, "Yeah, I still have them," and he got Roof Pooper. And you want to play Roof Pooper on your 7800 plus Christmas morning. Your spouse, your significant other did the impossible. They got you a 7800 plus. They went on the forums, made an account, and said, "Hey, let's get Roof Pooper." Had a race component to it. A lot of people have said that Copper Mutant. They always wished Omega Race had a race component to it, with the enemy trying to make it around the center section in laps. Yeah, I think that's a missed opportunity there. A lot of people want. So here we got Roof Pooper, and it looks like Roof Pooper does in fact work. And good for your significant other for getting on the forums and getting a game called Roof Pooper. Franco Dragon is a trip. If you never played any of his games, the guy, give him credit. He sees this stuff through to the end. He made a game called Roof Pooper, and he put it on a cartridge, and you can message him and buy it. So I always applaud that kind of stuff. And that's, again, part of the charm of the 7800 for me, is if you really want to, you can find a lot of crazy one-of-a-kind games on cartridge. And now we poop in jail because we pooped on the cop 3 times. Craptastic, says Crypto Coffee. An apt review. So Roof Pooper works, and some of the stuff is kind of surprising because I doubt they've cared about compatibility with Roof Pooper, but it does work. There was a game that just popped in my head. Let me see if I have it unpacked. I hope I do. Oh no. Here it is. Okay, I do have it unpacked. So let's say somehow you can't even get it on the forums no more, but somebody got you Donkey Kong PK, the Pokey version. Let's see if this works. Donkey Kong PK was originally made for the XM module, which I need to do a video on the history of the XM module because that is super interesting if you ask me. And it was originally Donkey Kong XM. He made a PK version that works with a Pokey. He sold them on the forums for years and years, and he dropped support about a year ago, I believe. But I would say Donkey Kong PK is one of the best ports of Donkey Kong you can get. Okay, so let's see if this loads up. Again, how you got this for Christmas, I don't know. But good for you for getting it. Maybe you messaged the guy and he happened to have one more. Don't bug him. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Matter of fact, I might just poop off my roof. He should have a, you can message Franco Dragon over at Atari Age and get Roof Pooper. He has Shatneroids, Crazy Tank, The Chicago Basement, Hardy Man Slapper. A ton of games. The guy has a lot. So it looks like, let's see, it looks like it's working. I hear some sound, so you can start on different levels, players 1 or 2, the US or Japan screen order, and then you can do your difficulty and then the high score cartridge on or off. So Copper has 2 Crossbow 7800 carts that won't work. I heard there are different versions. Boots up, the colors are all weird. Yeah, we tried Crossbow, and we did get my version to work. So I don't know what the difference is between the versions, but they do work. The audio is really low. Oops. But it does seem to work. I don't know why the audio sounds so low in my headphones. The only thing I recommend getting that OG Hugo controller. He has them on sale for $19.99 right now. Over on his eBay store, over at OG Hugo's Retro Mod Shop. that controller works so much nicer than even this one. Granted, this Europad is a huge step up from the Pro line. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's not the best that you can get for the 7800. The 7800 has so much support now that you don't really have to settle anymore. Can you explain how the high score cart works? The high score was the high score cart was a pass-through cart, so you would put it into your 7800, and then on top of that, so kind of like a Sonic and Knuckles thing, you would plug in the cartridge you want to play, and that would let you save and record your high scores. So you would record, your high scores for Asteroids on there, Centipede. All the original titles are compatible with it. Desert Falcon, all of them. And actually, if you get the game drive kind of always makes the console think. Again, this doesn't work on the 7800 Plus. The game drive only works on the original. It makes the 7800 think you always have a high score cart plugged in, and you can kind of see that the high score screens that are otherwise locked away and most people have never seen in their life. So that's all it was. And the idea was, again, think about when the 7800 was designed by GCC and made. Arcade stuff was prevalent. That's kind of what they based the 7800 around. So it was a cool thought that you could play at your house, record this awesome score, and then take your cart to your friend's house and say, hey, try to beat my Asteroid score. So it was a pretty cool idea, and it's a shame it never actually saw release. But yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff is compatible with the 7800 Plus here. And that's good, because there was a few notable compatibility issues with the 2600 Plus out of the box. I believe this has 2.0 firmware, so it seems to have a lot of the improvements that have been made to the 2600 Plus. Let me see here. I know I just had it. I wanted to see how Ricky and Vicky does on here, and then maybe we can wrap up for this morning. I just wanted to pop on and say hi to you guys. I haven't done a video or anything in a while. Here it is, Ricky and Vicky. Life's been absolutely crazy over here at the Atari Network, but it's sorting itself out. Life comes at you fast sometimes, but we get through it. And see, start putting some of these. So we get no game detected with Ricky and Vicky. But let's pop it out and try to reload it, because I thought it should work without audio. I thought you can change some of the video options, something like that. Really? There's an options menu on here? Huh. Now, I know there's a toggle in the back drone for 4x3 or 16x9, but I didn't know of a menu. There's no game detected. Let's see. Yeah, I hit all the buttons. I don't see any way to pull up unless it's on the controller. No. So it doesn't look like Ricky and Vicky loads up at all, which is unfortunate. But no, that's the 7800 Plus basically. No, there's an actual menu and it has options. Was there a manual with this thing? Let's see here. 7800 Plus Quick Start Guide. Yeah, Quick Start Guide when you get it here. Red flashing, low battery, difficulty switches, beginner, novice, yep, advanced, expert. I'm not seeing anything about a menu. Again, I have a members only video of unboxing it. All my unboxing videos, we're not an unboxing channel, so all that stuff is for members only. I seen somebody say in a comment. He's like, the first video I saw of yours was a members only, so unsubscribe. I don't do that many, but if that's enough to tick you off that you unsubscribe, then so be it. Kind of silly if you ask me what people get worked up over. Um, but yeah, I'll have to look into. Yeah, I don't see a manual that came with it. I think the manual's digital. I'll have to look into all that. But we'll have more content coming out very soon, guys. I just want to do an impromptu thing where we play a few games. I had about an hour this morning before I had to get ready for work. So I figured we'd get on here, say hello, make some content, and maybe we can reuse some of this video. I'm thinking of doing a video where we compare the 2600 plus and the 7800 plus. We also plan on doing a podcast episode with myself and Vinny before Christmas here. We'll get together and make a time for that. We want to talk about the mass email that went out from Atari Age, obviously the 7800 plus, and a lot of this other stuff that's been coming out. So stay tuned for that. Hit the like button on your way out if you don't mind. Hey, Durjusty. Sorry you made it right at the end. But we'll be doing a video for this and a lot more coming up soon here. Don't forget to check out the Patreon, the social media,